get going today. We'd like to introduce our livestock coach this year. We have Bailey Heidi Ricks. She'll be joining us for all of our shows. Buckley Reese, or Reese Buckley. We're going backwards. Then we have Skip Wolf. We got Chase Sorensen. We have Pete Buckley, then Chase Sorensen. Then we have Lainey Ryman. Following up next, we have Rita Baker. And then last in this class, we're going to have Aspen Urban. Our Clover Kid podcast shows a great opportunity for our Clover kids ages 5 to 7 to get their first experiences with exhibiting calves. We're so excited to have them out here joining us for this project. If you are a family member of a Clover Kid exhibiting today, make sure as you exit, we have some bucket prizes for our Clover kids. We're so glad that they're joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here for the livestock shows throughout your fair. For the Clover kids, we're just going to kind of talk with each one, and if they want to talk on the microphone, they sure can. If they're nervous, I can convey to you what they have said. But we'll go ahead and we'll start here. So the 3 questions I'm going to ask you is, what's your name, what's your calf's name, and what's the most fun thing you've done at the fair?
My name is Reese. My calf's name is Peppa Brick. My favorite thing is going around with the cat.
Alright, so we've got Reese, half a brick, going around at the fair with the calf. Alright, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Alright, what's your name?
Tipple.
Alright, what's your calf's name?
Yummy.
Yummy, that's a good name. What's your favorite thing you've done at the fair?
Show it there.
Show your pig? Awesome. Good job. Alright, Alright, what's your calf's name?
Little lady.
Lady. Alright, what's your favorite thing you've done at the fair?
Pocket cat.
Walker cow. Awesome. Good job. Alright,
No, Chase is Chase.
what's your calf's name? Golly, that's a good name. And what's the most fun thing you've done at the fair?
Walking my cat.
Awesome. Good job. Thank you. Sure. Lady, Ernie, I like that. What's your favorite thing you've done at the fair? Walk your cow around. Wrong answer. Awesome. What's your name? Show your cat. Last but not least, what is your name? Pickles. It's not green. Okay, what's your favorite thing you've done at the fair? Show your cat. Great job. Okay, let's give these Clover kids a big round of applause. It looks like we've got some invested kids out here.
hair away. Following Meredith, we have Ashton Bonderschmidt. Up next is her sister Harper Bonderschmidt. Then we have Hadley Hobbam. Following her is McCready Beaker. And last but not least, we've got Woodrow Barnes.
Another round of clover kids. So we'll do the same thing. I'll ask you guys the same questions. If you heard it, what's your cat's name? Brownie. Okay, what's your favorite thing you've done in the fair? Yeah, excellent work. All right, here's your. Okay, what's your favorite thing you've done in the fair? Eating vodka rounds? Awesome, good job. What's your name?
My name's Harper.
Harper, what's your cat's name?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, awesome. And what's your favorite thing you've done?
And my cat.
Your cat, great job.
Natalie.
Natalie, what's your cat's name?
Bud.
Bud, and then what's your favorite thing from the fair?
My favorite thing from the fair is showmen.
Very good.
My name's McCready.
Great, what's your cat's name?
Buckley.
Broccoli. You like broccoli? It's a vegetable too? Okay, awesome. Okay, and what's your favorite thing from the fair?
Showing her.
Broccoli, good job. You got a brown space here? Awesome. What's your name? Brenda. What's your favorite thing about the fair? Showing you getting ribbons. Awesome. Well, I think you're going to get another ribbon here. So let's put our hands together and do a big round of applause for the Clover kids.
Before we get these folks into the ring, I would like to mention that our traditional bucket hat program includes a record book. So all of these youth here have completed their record book. They've gone through an interview with Evan Peterson and Bockenberg. So we're so thankful for Evan coming out, judging our record books and our interviews. And then we are going to get started here in just a moment. All right, coming into the ring first, we have Reese Sorensen. Next up is exhibitor McKenna Ryman. Following is Tucker Parkhurst. Next into the ring is Riker Buckley. Following Riker is Eden Buckley. And then we have Gwyneth Buckley. After Gwyneth, we have Emma Dillon. Following shortly after is Braxton Robb. Following up our pack is Colt Drews and Sophie Banquist.
A good project here into the first year bucket calves. Definitely a fun project for these kids to get to learn and grow with their calves and figure out what they need. I just went around and talked with each of the kids on what they did in preparation before the fair, and as well as what their calves are eating. So all the calves look good. Maybe some of them are just better growers, but each of these kids has done an excellent job of getting this calf to the fair and completing their project. Some determinations for ribbons were just the confidence in which they knew exactly what their calf was eating and exactly how they'd gotten that calf to the fair. But like I said, they're all doing a very excellent job. Let's give them a big round of applause on their first year bucket calf projects.
Attention dairy exhibitors, this is going to be first call intermediate dairy showmanship. There are no junior showmen. So first call intermediate dairy showmanship. dairy competitors. This is second call, intermediate showmanship. Intermediate showman, you need to be making your way towards the show ring and getting checked in. First call, senior dairy showman. All right, entering the ring at this time is going to be the intermediate dairy showman. Intermediate dairy showman, we need you lined up at the gate and ready to enter at this time. Second call, senior dairy showman. Our judge for the dairy show today is Bailey Heinrichs. Bailey grew up on a diversified farming and cattle operation near Air, Nebraska. Most of her younger years were consumed by participation in 4-H, showing cattle and hogs, and also showing at the state and national level. She's had a passion for agriculture from a young age, and Bailey is truly blessed to be able to give back to the industry that helped shape her into who she is today. She attended the Nebraska College of Technical Agriculture and was a member of the livestock judging team there. She was fortunate enough to place in the top 10 in multiple national contests, and after Bailey graduated college, she returned home to a family farm. They raise corn, soybeans, and wheat, as well as purebred Chardonnay, which she sells males and females annually, and runs commercial cows as well. Bailey said it is a humbling and experience and an honor to be able to judge livestock shows and work with the great youth that are the future of our industry. A big thank you to Bailey Heinrichs for being our judge at the dairy show here today. Entering the ring at this time, intermediate dairy showman. Intermediate dairy showman, you should be entering the ring at this time. Senior dairy showman, be getting ready.
a nice job here into the beginning of our dairy showmanship contest, and all three of these kids are doing a really nice job. Just comes down to how well their animals want to cooperate with them today. I think there's one up here that's just really calm and collected and does an excellent job. I'm always impressed you guys can walk backwards because I fall down going forwards. So you guys are doing an excellent job. Let's put our hands together for them. I'll pick a champion in reserve.
Wood River Dairy is the sponsor of the intermediate showmanship trophy today. If there is anybody from Wood River Dairy here, you can surely meet us ringside and get your picture. We appreciate your support of the Dairy Show at Dawson County Fair. All right, entering the ring at this time will be the Senior Dairy Showman. Senior Dairy Showman will be entering the ring at this time. Spring heifer calves and winter heifer calves, you are on deck at this time. For the first time ever at the Dawson County Fair in 2026, we will be having a premium auction on Saturday, July 18th. Bidder registration will begin at 4 p.m. with the auction starting at 5. We invite everyone to come and support our youth. As a reminder to all livestock exhibitors, premium auction contracts must be placed in the drop box located by the Red Barn within 1 hour of the completion of your final market show. We also invite all premium auction exhibitors and their families to attend the brief auction meeting on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. or immediately following the pig show here in the Stevens Arena. We will review the logistics of the sale, discuss what to expect, and answer any questions you may have at that time. We look forward to a great first premium auction and appreciate everyone's participation. In the ring at this time is Senior Dairy Showman. Spring heifer calves and winter heifer calves be making your way to the staging area at this time.
we get to the senior division here, all these kids are doing a really nice job. I guess I forgot to state earlier, but I'll continue to state throughout. I'm just going to talk to each kid personally in showmanship to kind of go over things they do well, things they can improve upon. But like I said, all of them are doing a really nice job. Just kind of comes down to some finer details and the attentiveness in which they pay, making sure they have that animal set up and if that animal moves that they reset, stuff like that. I think these guys did a nice job of leaving an appropriate amount of space between one another for the most part in the ring. Gives me room to really see them and get in and around and all that. But let's put our hands together. I'll go out and I'll pick a champion or reserve.
Senior Dairy Showmanship Trophy sponsor today has been brought to you by the Milk House. We appreciate the support. All right, let's give a round of applause to our Senior Dairy Showman. All right, as the Senior Dairy Showman exit the arena, spring heifer calves, you will be up next. Please make your way to ringside, and then winter heifer calves, you will be on deck. All calves, you will also be on deck. All right, spring heifer calves, you should be entering the ring at this time. Spring heifer calves, you are entering the arena at this time. Winter heifer calves, you are on deck. Fall heifer calves, you are also on deck.
last class here to start off into the dairy show. A nice pair over here along the rail. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady's heifer out front to start the class. I think this was maybe just a little more level about her top line. She's a little more capacious and bold sprung through the center portion of her rib. Just a really nice heifer. Sure, the heifer that's going to end up second. I do like her head a little bit better. I think she's a little more feminine, a little longer fronted. Today she's kind of wanting to fight the halter a little bit, maybe a little harder to get a good look at. I think one that's just a little bit flatter in her rib shape as you compare the two. And then we come over to the young man's painted heifer here next to me. I think she's one that just gives up a little bit of center body and capacity. They're all roughly the same age. I just like to get her a little bit more rib shape, but he's doing a really nice job with her as well. So let's give this class a round of applause.
Entering the ring at this time, winter heifer calves. Winter heifer calves, you are entering the ring at this time. Fall heifer calves, you are on deck. Summer yearlings, you are also on deck.
A single entry here into the winter calf class. Young man brings us a really nice brown Swiss heifer. She's really good in terms of her structure. She gets out and moves. She's really angular. She's good in her top line. She's got some rib shape. She's maybe not just quite as bold as you really want her, but that's going to be pretty nitpicky on a really nice heifer here. Give him a round of applause and we'll see him back out here for the finals.
Fall heifer calves, you should be entering the ring at this time. Fall heifer calves, summer yearlings, you're on deck. Spring yearlings, be getting ready. All right, no fall heifer calves here today. Summer yearlings, you should be entering the ring now. Summer yearlings should be entering the ring at this time. Spring yearlings, please be getting ready. All right, no summer yearlings, no spring yearlings, winter yearlings. You should be entering the ring at this time. Winter yearlings, you should be entering the ring at this time. Fall yearlings, you should be getting ready as well.
nice pair out here into the winter yearlings. I'm going to use an young man's Jersey Cross heifer to start the class. I think she's one that's maybe just a little bit more level about her top line. I like her about her head and her neck. She's maternal and feminine. She's pretty good in her ankles. Just a really nice place to start the class with. The kind of bigger, taller heifer here that's going to be second maybe just gives up a little bit of uniformity as you start to study her from the side. I think she's one that maybe just gets a little bit shorter hips in comparison to the rest of her body. Maybe just throws off her balance ever so slightly. Still a big, bold type of heifer here that's got a lot of rib shape and a nice duo of them out here. So let's give them a round of applause as well.
All right, no dry cows at this time, 2-year-old cow. And you can make your way towards the show ring at this time. Two-year-old cow should be entering the ring at this time. We can have the 3-year-olds be getting ready. My mistake on that. Fall yearlings are the ring at this time. Fall yearlings, 2 and 3-year-old cows be getting ready.
A single entry here in this class, and the young lady brings us a really nice one. This one's really level made. She gets out, moves extremely well. She's good in terms of her ankle. She's kind of starting to show that she will be calving here in a couple months. I like the other development that she's got coming on. She's got good sized teats and a really great placement. So I'm sure she'll be a really nice cow for her. Congratulations. We'll see her back out here in a while.
All right, that was fall yearlings, no dry cows, 2-year-old cows, please go make their way to the show ring, as well as 3-year-old cows. Also, if you were first purple in your class, don't go too far. We will need to have you back again for overall champion and reserve champion.
Another single entry here, and the young lady brings us a really nice one that's really eye-catching in terms of her height, but then you start to study her too. She's good in her angles. She's really refined about her bone work. She's feminine in her head and her neck. You study her in terms of udder. She's really good in terms of teat size and placement. A nice cow there. Congratulations to her.
Okay, so we have added an addition of the dry cow. We will bring our 4-year-old dry cow in at this time. We can have our 4-year-old dry cow headed to the show ring, then we will do 3-year-old cows.
Another nice single entry here. A young lady brings us a nice cow out here. She's really level in her design. She's good in terms of her forehead and her flank. I think she's got plenty of rib shaping capacity to her. Just presuming here that when she is in lactation, that she does have a nice udder. I like the teat size and placement on her right now as a dry cow. Nice job. She'll get a purple ribbon. Congratulations.
All right, 3-year-old cows. You should be making your way to the show ring at this time. 3-year-old cows are entering the ring. 4 and 5-year-old cows will just be getting ready.
Another nice class here as we start getting to a little bit of the older females out here. I'm going to use young ladies here to along the rail here to start the class. I think this one's just better in terms of when you study her in terms of her udder. She's got better milk banks. I think she's one that's just the most uniform in terms of seat size and placement. She's got a really good udder. She's really level in her top. Just a really nice female to start the class off with. Young man's Brent Swiss that's going to come next is one that I like quite a lot just in terms of her outline. I think she gives you a pretty nice look. She too is pretty good about her udder. She's maybe just not quite as full, maybe just a little bit longer on those front two, but a nice effort there as well. And the milky short one that's going to round out the class. I like the amount of production she's doing for him. I think she's one that's probably really bold, maybe has a little more curvature and a little bit more depth of body, but I think she's got one teeth that's maybe just a little bit off as you compare to the other three on each quarter. Young man's doing a nice job with her, really nice trio of them here. Let's give them a round of applause.
All right, 4-year-old cows, be making your way to the show ring. 4-year-old cows, be coming to the show ring at this time. 5-year-old cows, be getting ready.
I looked. When I saw this one, I looked.
All right, 5-year-old cows, you can make your way to the show ring at this time. We had some scratches on the 4-year-old cows. No 4-year-old cows at this time. 5-year-old cows, if you can be making your way to the show ring. Also, if you were first purple in your class, if you can kind of be around and ready, we will have you back in at the completion of the 5-year-old cow class for the grand champion.
Really nice spots as we get into kind of the older cows out here. A really nice pair, and there's things I like about each one, so I'll just kind of talk about that. The Indian's kind of darker colored one out here is really, really striking from a profile standpoint. She maybe almost gives you a little bit more of a beef cow aesthetic. She's just really big ribs. She's deep-sided. She's easily the easiest fleshy one out here. Just one that's really good in terms of her underline. Again, just so big ribbed and so big middle. She's really level, really attractive. She's maybe not quite as full uddered, not quite as uniform in her teat size and placement as the brown Swiss. A nice one there. The brown Swiss as well. One that's striking from a profile standpoint. She gives you a nice look. She's maybe not quite as level out of her hooks and pins as the one that stands right ahead of her. I think from an udder standpoint, I like this one just a little bit better. She'll be the one to start the class, so we'll go second here. But a really nice pair, and then I like them both quite a lot. From there, we maybe just get into some issues in terms of some udder. I'm going to go ahead and use the brown Swiss standing in front of me. I think she's one that's just a little bit more uniform in terms of teat size, a little bit squared off of all quarters. She's sure enough a big cow. She can get out and go relatively well. She maybe just gets a little bit tighter hanging off of those rear two as you set her into motion, but a nice cow there. Some differences between the next two, obviously. Young ladies, female there in the center. If you could just even out her udder, I think she'd maybe move up a little higher. She's obviously high producing. She's good in terms of her milk veins. She's just one as you get onto the left side here, we've got a bigger teat, maybe just a little bit more swollen here, but a nice female as well. And the kind of brown Swiss cow that rounds out the class. From the showroom side of things, she looks like she presents really nice udder. I like the two teats in terms of her right side. As you come around from the left, she's maybe one that looks to be maybe even dry on the left side off of both of those. But a really nice class of them. Let's put our hands together for them.
All right, if you received a first purple in your class, please bring that animal back to the show ring. We will go through the grand champion and reserve champion selection rounds. Again, first purple, please bring your animal to the show ring at this time. All right, entering the show ring at this time will be all the first purple winners of their respective classes in the dairy show. We'll begin entering the show ring at this time. This will be the last class of the dairy show. Following this, we'll take a short 5-minute break, and then we'll get on into the feeder camp show. We will start that approximately by 10 to
really high quality show that you guys have had, so I commend the breeders and the exhibitors out here for this dairy show. I'll talk each individual and then we'll get you a champion in reserve. But the little Jersey heifer that came to us from that first class, just a really nice little female. As we talked to her in class, I like the rib shape and dimension and center body capacity that she has. She's good in terms of her angle. She gets out and moves well. I think one that's just going to continue on and make a really nice prospect for her. The brown Swiss heifer from the next class, one that's really, really angular. I love the way she lays into her shoulders. She's good about her head and her neck. She's really strong in terms of breed characteristics there. She's really level topped, and that's probably the one thing that I like about her the most. Is just the look she gives you from the side. I think she's really tracked and really well balanced. The one that comes to us next, I think maybe one that certainly has some length. Maybe as you get them out here, she just gets a little bit shorter. She's maybe just not quite as level top as a couple of the others out here, but certainly one that's really, really good in her own right as well. The kind of colorful whited one that comes to us next, I like the depth of rib of this one. I think she's good in terms of teat size and placement and udder quality. For me, she's maybe one that can tie these together and just balance up a little bit better, just in terms of an eye appeal standpoint, but still a productive cow there. The young lady's painted up heifer that comes next that'll be calving here in a couple months as we talk turn class. I like the udder development that she's got. I think she's going to be one that's really really square and really good in terms of her udder and the teeth placement and size. Just a really nice striking type of female. She's really level top. She gives you a really good look from the side. She's really feminine, nice one there. The Jersey that comes next, again, kind of the same story. One that paints you a nice picture from the side. She's really good in her angles too. I think if you study her from the ground up, I like the way her hawk ties in. She's still good in her passer. She's good at her hip. She ties nice into her shoulder. She's still got some rib shaping dimension, and she seems really good in her udders, so nice from there as well. Then on milking, we'll look out here as we study her. As I said in class, I think one that when she is in milk production, she shows me one that I would sure presume to have a really nice udder as well. If you want to talk just levelness and style, this one's really, really good. I think from her hip, she's really straight in terms of all of her lines. Paint you a nice picture from the side. The brown Swiss, that means this the last Dawson 5-year-old cows. Again, as we talked in class, I think one that kind of just rose to the top in terms of udder quality, teat placement, just milk paint and all that extra stuff. She's maybe just not quite as stylish as a couple of the others. She maybe ties her neck a little bit lower into the point of her shoulder as you compare her out to a couple of the others, but that's being pretty nitpicky on a really highly productive type of cow there. So I think there's a couple out here that sure enough are in the run, and I'm going to make a decision here in a minute. But congratulations to each one of you out here in the dairy show. Really high quality show. I'll go out, I'll pick a champion. If there's a second place purple from that respective class, we will bring them in for a reserve contingent, but let's go ahead and applaud our dairy supers. Our second place in that particular class is a kind of darker cow here that's about to come in as we talked in class one that gives you a nice look. I like just how much rib shaping capacity she's got to her. Just a really nice female as well. Congratulations to him. I'll go out and I'll pick your reserve.
All right, that's going to conclude the area show here at the Dawson County Fair. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will get started on the feeder camp show. I can draw your attention to the northwest corner of the arena. You have some your flows available over there at this time. You can be use for your 5 minutes. diversified farming and cattle operation near Air, Nebraska. Most of her younger years were spent participating in 4-H, showing cattle and hogs, and doing that on the state and national level. She's had a passion for agriculture from a young age, and she is truly blessed to be able to get back to the industry that helped shape her into who she is today. Bailey attended the Nebraska College of Technical Agriculture and was a member of the livestock judging team. She was fortunate to place in the top 10 of multiple national contests. After graduating, she returned home to the family farm where she raises corn, soybeans, and wheat, and also purebred Charolais cattle, which she sells bulls and females annually. Bailey said it is humbling and an honor to be able to judge livestock shows and work with the great youth that are the future of our industry. We thank you very much for coming and judging the Dawson County Fair 2026. All right, junior showman, you should be entering the ring at this time. Junior showman should be entering the ring at this time. Second call, intermediate showman. Senior showman begin ready. Junior showmen are in the ring at this time. Intermediate showmen, if you can be making your way to the arena. Intermediate showmen be making your way to the arena. This is also the first call for senior showmen.
Hey, you don't have to turn the speakers up out there in each one. Okay, so here's what it is. Okay. Thank you. All right.
And nice way to start off into the feeder calf show here with the junior showmanship. All 5 of these kids are doing a nice job, as I discussed earlier. I'm just going to talk to each one personally on things they do well and things they can improve upon. The 2 young men out here in the middle are the purple ribbons in this particular heat. I think they're both doing a really nice job. It just kind of comes down to some minor details in terms of how well you get your animal set, just where you're placing your hand on the halter, getting that head up with the stomach. Where the legs need to be set on your particular calf to show them off to the best of the ability. So I'll go out and I'll pick a champion and a reserve, but let's put our hands together for the group of junior showmen.
All right, sponsoring the trophy for the Junior Showman Champion today is Farm Credit Services. If somebody from Farm Credit is around and like to take a picture, you can meet outside the arena. That would be great. Intermediate Showman, you should be checking in and getting ready to enter the ring at this time. Intermediate Showman, your class is up next. Second call, Senior Showman. Intermediate showmen are entering the ring at this time. Senior showman, you are on deck. Following senior showmanship, we will proceed to the breeding heifer calf class. Breeding heifers, you will follow senior showmanship.
Oh, I've done this in Portland before. Yeah. All right. Oh, no, that would be, yep. He's not for sure. No, right now it's 7. Thank you. Have a good day.
And I sat here into the intermediate showmanship contest and talked with each one. I think some of them that I think each one does some things really well, and then some maybe need a little bit of help somewhere else, and they're kind of maybe going back and forth in my head a little bit. I just kind of pulled them in random order just so I could chat with each kid. But like I said, as we talked to the juniors, just kind of paying attention to detail. And feeder calves are one of the hardest things to show, especially as we get out here to the fair. I'm assuming that it's most of the first time that they've been anywhere, so that makes it a little bit challenging. Sometimes kids are nervous, the calves are nervous, and they just keep feeding off of one another. But I think as they're sitting out here a little bit longer, we're kind of getting settled in a little bit. They're doing a nice job really getting those animals set up. Maybe some are just responding a little bit quicker there. But congratulations to all 4 of them. I'll go out and take the champion reserve.
Intermediate Showmanship Trophy was sponsored today by the Allen Heffley family. We appreciate your contribution to the 2026 Feeder Calf Show very much. That concludes the Intermediate Showmanship, Senior Showmanship. You should be checked in at the ring at this time. This will be first call breeding heifers. There will be 3 classes of those. Senior showman, you should be ready to go at this time. All right, this is going to be second call, 3 heifers, second call breeding heifers, be making your way to the arena at this time.
Nice trick here in the senior showmanship as we've harped on all day, just attention to detail. I think there's maybe a couple out here that just really get that calf set, just really know where to place those legs and how to get that head up and just really show off their animal. I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion in reserve, but let's put our hands together for the senior showmanship division.
All right, that'll conclude showmanship. Our trophy for senior showmanship was sponsored today by the Daryl Kaiser family. We appreciate that very much. In showmanship, your junior reserve champion showman was Parker Caraway. Your champion junior showman was Briggs McConville. In the intermediate category, your reserve showman was Gus Barnes. Your champion showman was Gabrielle Caraway. Your reserve champion showman in the senior division was Bristol McConville, and your champion is Jalen Wolfing. We're going to move into the breeding heifer portion of our show. First class of breeding heifers. You should be checking in right now. This is final call for the breeding heifer portion of this show. All right, entering the ring at this time should be the first class of breeding heifers. That would be Haley, Cassidy, Gus, and Chloe. You should be entering the ring at this time. If you receive a first or second purple in your breeding heifer class, make sure you stay close and we'll have you back to select the champion. First and second purples in the breeding heifer classes, make sure you stay close, we'll have you back in to pick a champion and reserve champion.
class of the heifers here to start with a kind of breeding heifer prospect show out here. The young lady's predominantly red Angus heifer. I'm assuming he's going to start the class. I like this one a lot. I think she's really long-sided. She's really good about her head and her neck and her ankles. She gets out and moves extremely well. She's still got some shape and dimension to her. I think one that's going to be a lot of fun for her on down the road. And maybe gets a little bit closer between this next pair. We've got one that's just really showy and really flashy from the side, and then maybe one that's just more a little bit kind of brood cow type of look. I opted to go with the young lady's red heifer. I think she's just really neat from the side. She gives you such a neat look. She's really stout and square from hooks to pins and down to the ground. I think she's one that maybe doesn't read just quite correct in her structure, but I think it's more that she's just really quiet in her today. She's good in her angles. I think if she can just get out and get walking, I think she's plenty good at in that right. The kind of shorthorn heifer that comes next is one that's long-sided. I think she's one that's really broody, one that I think will make a nice cow. She maybe doesn't have the added kind of flashy showroom type of look of the two heifers ahead of her. Really good practical type heifer. I love the rib shape that she's got for this age as well. And kind of brown tinged heifer that rounds out the class. Again, just a really good kind of practical type of female here. She's maybe just a little bit plainer, maybe gets a little bit extra throat there as you compare it to a couple of the others. Maybe just isn't quite as widely constructed, but a nice heifer cap there as well. Congratulations to that.
All right, entering during at this time the second class of breeding heifers. It should be Parker, Wicks, Gabby, and Katie. Coming in during at this time. Just a reminder, if you are first or second purple in your class, you need to stick around and come back in for champion and reserve champion selection. Market heifers, be getting your calves ready at this time.
Another nice class of of the breeding heifer, prospect type heifers. I'm going to use the Youngman's Black Heifer to start the class. I think she's just combines the most of the best qualities out here. She's one that gives you a nice look from the side. She ties her head, neck, and shoulder together really well. She's good in her angles. For this age, she's one that's got plenty of center body and capacity. I'd say she's the biggest, rib deepest one of this particular class. And yet, you step in behind her, she's still got some shape and some muscle to her. I think he's going to have fun with her, and nice heifer to start off the class. The young lady's red heifer that comes next, I like the length of spine. I like the ultra cool look that she's got up front to her. She's really smooth in her design. For me, she's one that just gets a little bit flatter. When you step in behind her, I'd like to just add a little bit more punch to her. I think she gets a little bit flatter shape in terms of a muscle shape and a nice heifer as well. A really stout-featured heifer here next. When you step in behind her, that is where I like this heifer a lot. She's stout and square from her hips and her hooks and pins and down to the ground. She gets out and moves relatively well. For me, she's maybe one that just doesn't get as flashy. Maybe she's a little bit plainer in the construction of where she lays into her jaw. She's got a little extra shoulder in her. She's maybe got a little extra navel. If we can kind of clean some of those up, she may move a little bit higher in the class. But I appreciate the power that this one has. The heifer that rounds out the class is one that's really impressive. When you step in behind her, she's big and stout. I like that about her. She's got a lot of muscle. If you study her out of her hips, she's probably the widest main heifer out here. With that, she is probably one that struggles the most just in terms of a center body. I think she's the shallowest and the hardest made through her forerib and her flank. I just like to drop her down a little bit. A really high quality class of heifers, and let's get them around the class.
All right, we're going to get ready for our third class of breeding heifers. We have just a moment here while we switch some animals. So, all right, it sounds like we're ready. We will have our third and final class of Gabby, Crystal, Parker, and Jay Lynn entering the ring at this time for breeding heifers. If you were a first or a second purple in this breeding heifer division, if you could come back at the conclusion of this class, and we will pick a champion and reserve champion calf out of that. Market heifers, you are on deck. If you want to be making your way to the arena, you will follow the selection of the grand champion breeding heifer.
nice deep set of class out here. The young lady's black heifer that's going to start the class honestly does so pretty easily. This one hit me hard when she brought her in for showmanship. She does an excellent job of getting this one shown, but as you can see here from a profile standpoint, she's hard to beat. She's so refined about her head and her neck. She's really feminine. She ties her neck so high into the point of her shoulder, just so extended and attractive. From a side profile standpoint, then you really start to study her. She's stout-made, she's soft-ribbed, she's big hip. Certainly just combines a lot of good. She's done an excellent job, really neat heifer there to start the class off with. The kind of white-faced heifer, white-footed heifer that comes next is really striking. She catches your attention. She gives you a nice look from the side. She maybe doesn't want to cooperate quite as well, but when she does get her set, again, she paints you a really nice picture from the side. Just a really nice, long kind of heifer that balances up well. If you're going to kind of compare her, critique her to that one that walks out ahead of her, she's just a little bit tighter there in her forward and her flank, but I think as age progresses, one that'll drop down a nice heifer there. The young man's red heifer that ends up third in this class, I like this heifer a lot. She just kind of runs into a really tough competition-wise. This is a really good type of female. She's moderate. She looks to be easy keeping. She's soft ribbed. She's big body. Just a really good type of heifer. Love her head and her neck. Maybe just gets a little bit outpowered by those two up ahead of her. Kind of the same can be said for this next heifer that's going to end up fourth. I think she's one that's got some muscle to her. She's got some depth of body. She's certainly got some performance as well. She's big-footed and good at the ground. Just one that maybe could be tidied up a little bit in her navel there. Just kind of added some kind of look to her, but I think just another really good one in that class as well. So congratulations on a really deep set of heifers.
All right, if you were a first or second purple in your breeding heifer class, we need you to return to the show ring at this time. They will tell you how they want you lined up. But first or second purples in your breeding heifer class, you need to return to the show ring at this time so we can select the champion and reserve champion. This will be second call market heifers. Second call market heifers. You need to be making your way to the arena at this time. And it'll be first call market steers. First call market steers.
Really nice lineup of the breeding heifers out here. If this is any indication as to the quality in here, I'm really excited for the beef show in the next coming days as well. You guys have done an excellent job. We look forward to the market side of things as well. Young lady's red heifer from the first class, as we talked. One that's so refined, she's so feminine, she gives you such a nice look. I love her about her head and her neck. I think she balances up really well. Obviously, we've got some age difference between her and the heifer that came out from the third class, so there is some size and performance difference there. But I think one that for as young and green as she is awfully good. I like that heifer. She's maybe not the stoutest featured one out here, but one that's awfully good in her own right. The black heifer from the second class is one that does have a little bit more muscle shape to her. He's stepping behind her and steadier over the top side of her loin and out of the top of her shoulder blade there. She does possess some power. She's maybe one, if you're going to critique her, she gets a little bit shorter fronted. I'm not sure she ties her neck quite as high into her shoulder as the heifers on either side of her, but an awfully nice one there as well. As we just saw this heifer from that third class, this one that I said hit me really hard, and that's honest there. She's one that's really good. It's not very often that you get to see a heifer this caliber out here at your county fair. So a really nice set of them. As I said, I think there's one that just hits me really hard that I can't compliment enough. I'll go out and I'll pick a champion. We'll take a look for reserve. But congratulations. Let's put our hands together for that. As we pull in that second place from that prospective class, I think one that just really paints you a nice picture as well. She's striking not only in terms of her color, but you really start to study this one, and she's got some width and dimension to her. She's widely constructed, and yet she's still feminine about her head and her neck. I think as you get her out here, she's maybe just not the deepest flame form, but I think one that has enough. And maybe gets a little bit closer here for reserve for me, but I'll go out and I'll show you the one that I like. Congratulations to you guys.
All right, so in your breeding heifer class, reserve champion was Bristol McConville and champion was J. Lynn Wolfinger. Congratulations to you both in the breeding heifer class. Up next will be market heifers. Market heifers will be entering the ring here in a little bit. We've got a couple of few calves around. And then following that, market steers will be the next class. We have a moment. I want to remind everybody that there is a cow cutta this evening at 6 o'clock. And then the steer roping will begin at 7 at the outdoor arena. That would be an excellent opportunity to go spend a little time this evening up there at the rodeo arena if you would like to do that. Also on Saturday afternoon, we've moved it up in time a little bit. It'll be at 3 p.m. now. Saturday afternoon will be the elite championship competition. And that will be featuring some of the people you've seen here this afternoon. So make sure you come and join us for that on Saturday at 3 p.m. For the Women in Ag, we would like to encourage you to check out the Focus on Women event this evening in the commercial building from 4 to 9 p.m. There'll be vendors, snacks, and other good stuff going on in there. So if you find yourself at a free moment between 4 and 9. So once again, Women in Ag, you can attend the Focus on Women event with vendor snacks and other goodies tonight in the commercial building from 4 to 9 p.m. And then also Clover Kid, bucket calves, any other traditional bucket calves, you're welcome to come pick up your record books and your score sheets at the Red Barn here in the arena. At this time, entering the show ring will be the market heifers. We're going to have the market heifers entering the ring at this time. We have just one class of them, so we will also select champion and reserve champion while we're in here. This will be second call market steers. Second call market steers will be making your way to the arena.
Just to see the class here into the market heifer division of the feeder heifer show. I think a nice top pair here, and honestly, if you can change things and kind of combine the two of them, I think you have a really, really good one. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the young lady's heifer out here. I think she's one that's just a little bit stouter featured as you kind of start to talk on as a market animal prospect. She's maybe a little bit bigger footed, a little bit bigger bone. When you step in behind her, I think she's just got a lot more shape right at the top side of her shoulder as you step in and study her all the way out the back. But a really nice head. If you're going to critique her, she's maybe a little bit heavier front end. I'd like to just extend her and make her just a little bit longer with a nice heifer to start the class with. The heifer that's going to be second does have that extra added length, and I like her about her head and her neck and the way she blends into her shoulder. I think she's got the more length and extension up front. She's a little bit longer from her shoulder back to her tail head. For me, she's maybe one that just gets a little bit harder made there. I think she's a little bit flatter there in terms of her forerib and gets up a little bit in her flank, but I like that heifer just in terms of the style and profile standpoint there. The red heifer that rounds out the class, just a really good type of practical type of critter. I think she's one that's going to be pretty easy feeding. For me, she's one that just gets a lot flatter in her muscle shape as you compare to those heifers ahead of her. Maybe just gets a little bit plainer in terms of a show ring type of standpoint, but a good practical type of female there. Let's get them around the class.
All right, if we can have first and second purples from the market heifer class back in the ring, we will make our selection for champion and reserve champion. All right, your reserve champion for the market heifer class is Bristol McConville, and your champion is Jalen Wolfinger. Congratulations. We are going to start on our market steer portion of the show. So the first class of market steers, Haley, Parker, Dally, and Lincoln. You should be making your way to the show ring to get checked in now. First class market steers.
So the steers here as we get into this division. The young man smoke steers kind of a man amongst boys up here in this particular class and wins it pretty easily. This one just gives you such a neat look from the side. He's really stout, he's really wide constructed, certainly one that has plenty of power, just a good look. If you're going to critique him, he's maybe not perfect in the angle of his shoulder, but a really nice place to start the class. From there, the red steer that comes next is one that I think is just a good type of easy feeding steer. I think one that's just really practical. He's maybe not quite as stout, he's maybe not quite as stylish as the one that starts the class, but just a really good kind of practical commercial feeding type steer that I think will be good on down the road as well. The little black calf that comes next is kind of an intriguing one in the class for me. He's one that's got some width and dimension. I love him out of his hip and down to the ground. For me, I'm starting to question. I know he's young, but is he going to get big enough? Is he going to be bold enough? He just gets pretty tight in through the center third of his body. But a nice calf as well. The red calf that rounds out the class does have that added rib shape and depth and softness as the one in front of him. For me today, as you step in behind him and just kind of start to study muscle shape, he gets awfully flat. I'd like to just add a little bit of width and dimension to him, but another nice one here in this class. Let's give them a round of applause.
All right, at this time it'll be our second class of market steers. It should be Maddie, Briggs, Dally, Jalen, and Gus. It'll be our second class of market steers at this time.
Another nice class here as we do the feeder steers. The young lady's white steer is going to be the champion of this particular class, and I like this steer a lot. I think he gives it a really nice look from the side. You step in behind, and he reads so stout and so wide. Certainly one that just kind of gives you an easy feeding type of show ring steer. Cool look there. He's really soft centered. A nice steer to start the class. If you're going to critique him, he maybe gets a little bit short in terms of his skeleton, but a nice place to start. The black and white steer that comes next is one that probably does have a little bit added length. He's a little bit more green and youthful. I like that about him. Gets out and moves well. He's maybe just not quite as stout and quite as fancy as the one that starts the class, but a really good one there in the second hole as well. The blue roan steer that comes next is one that I like in terms of practicality and functionality. I think this is one that young lady can bring back to the fair next year. One that's going to hang a nice carcass. He's practical in terms of muscle. He's soft. Just doesn't have that added wow factor the two ahead of it, but still a really good build on there. The red steer that comes next, I like the weight and dimension of this one. I think it's one that's really, again, practical, one that you can have a whole yard full to make money. All day of the week, maybe for me, just gets a little bit flatter. I'd like to kind of flatten him out in terms of the angle of his hawk. I think he gets just a little civil hawk out here. Put a nice steer there as well. The red steer that rounds out the class just falls in this particular hole as he is a little bit flatter muscle. I think, again, another good practical steer, one that can sure enough come back as a good market steer, hanging nice carcass a year from now. Just gets a little bit flatter in the shape, especially as he's coming around to the top side of his shoulder blade. Nice class there. Let's give that a round of applause.
All right, that's going to bring us to our third and final class of market steers. Third and final class of market steers should be Gus, Layton, Katie, and Jackson. You should be making your way to the ring and into the ring at this time. Just a reminder, if you were a first or second purple, we are going to need to have you back for champion and reserve champion market steer.
Nice box of the feeder steers up here. The young man's black steer on the profile is going to win the class. That's so pretty easy. I like this steer quite a lot. I think he gives you a really good look from the side. He's really attractive in the way he's made. He's correct in terms of his angles. I love the foot structure on this one. I think he's good at the angle of his hop around. Certainly one that I think is just going to keep getting better and better. Young man brought us a nice one today. From there, maybe gets a little bit closer. I think we've got three just really practical type of steers if you want to fill a feedlot. Here's the cattle we're looking for. I think the red steer just has a little bit more shape to him. He's maybe got a little bit more weight for native age at this particular set in time. If I'm going to critique this one, I'd like to let him take a little bit longer and more athletic step off of his rear too. I think he gets just a little bit tight in his hop there, but certainly one that I project on to maybe a good market, good easy feeding type of steer next. I love maybe Charlotte cross cap. This one sure enough is. I think he's really, really good when you step in and study him from this angle. I like the way the dimension he has. Maybe from the side he gets a little bit shorter sided. I'd like to make him just a little bit longer, a little bit bigger maybe, but a nice cap there as well. The young man's black steer that rounds up the class is one of the longer sided, kind of bigger steers of the class, probably has the most weight for native age. I appreciate that. From a performance standpoint, I think he's good and rugged in terms of his bone work. For me, it kind of defines his fourth place for me today when you step him right over the top side of the skeleton. I think in terms of true muscle shape, he's the flattest right over the top of his shoulder, and you study him over his loin. But a really nice class there. Let's get that around.
All right, that was the final class of market steers. So if I can have all the first and second purples return to the show ring, first and second purples return to the show ring, we will pick a champion and reserve champion market steer. Following that selection, we will pick an overall champion feeder calf and reserve champion feeder calf. If you are planning on doing a club group of 5, be getting those together as well at this time. If you're going to do a club group of 5, please be getting those together at this time.
And I signed up with the steer calves out here for the feeder calf show. 4 really good critters. The silver steer from that first class, as we said, gives you a nice look. I like the length of this one. I like just how level top he is. I think he's really impressive when you start to study him just in terms of muscle shape, especially how square he is from hooks to pins and down to the ground. If I'm going to critique this one, I don't think he's the best built one of the trio of them in terms of structure. I think he gets a little bit straighter in the angle of his shoulder. Maybe just like to give him a notch more angle out of his hock and down to the ground and let him take just a little bit longer step, but certainly one that's really neat just in terms of how much muscle shape he possesses. The kind of white steer here from the middle class is one that gives you a nice look from the side. I would say he's the biggest ribbed and the softest centered one out here. As we talked in class, maybe he gets a little bit shorter sided, maybe just gets a little bit shorter hipped as well. For me, he's one that maybe isn't quite perfect out of his hock either. I think he's a little bit better in that regard than the one that stands right in front of him. For me, he's maybe one that's a little bit questionable just in terms of how much frame size and how much growth we're going to get out of him, but he's sure darn cool at this stage of the game. The black steer that came out of that last class, I think it's kind of a combination steer. It's maybe not the most of anything, but I think he combines the best amount of stuff in terms of a structural standpoint. This one's good at the ground. I like his foot size and the structure of his hoof. I think he's really good in terms of his walk down to the ground as you start to study him. This is the one that's the most athletically built of the 3, and I really appreciate that. Obviously, they need to have some structure if they're going to make it to be hanging out here in a year from now. He's still got some muscle. Is he the softest, biggest ribbed one? No, but I think he's got enough. But 3 really good calves. I'll go out and I'll show you the champion reserve, but let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
All right, reserve champion goes to Jalen Wolfinger, and champion goes to Layton Johnson. Market steer. division. If we can have all of the two champions and reserve champions from the market steer and market heifer class return to the show ring, we will go ahead and pick an overall champion and an overall reserve champion. Again, if we can have the champion and reserve champion market steer and market heifer return to the show ring, we will pick a champion and a reserve champion feeder calf. And if you are working on a club group of 5, you need to be getting those together and see the show ring at this time.
We bring our champion and reserves from each respective division out here. Really good lineup. I've been really impressed with the quality all day. We start out here with the young lady's heifer that won the breeding heifer portion. Just a really, really unique heifer. I like this heifer a lot. I think she's one that's hard to pick a hole in. So complete. She's good at the ground. She's good in terms of muscle shape. She's soft-centered. She still looks feminine. Just a really neat heifer. Has a lot of wow factor on top of it. The market heifer is one that I like a lot just in terms of how much width and dimension is here. I think she's soft-centered. I like how much foot and bone she's got underneath her. She's good out of her hip. She's really level topped. If you're going to critique her, she maybe gets a little bit shorter up through that front 1/3. I'm not sure she's just quite as striking from a profile standpoint as the calves on either side of her, but a good functional type of heifer there. This year that just wins, I like the functionality of this one. I think he's really good in his structure. I appreciate that. He's still got the look as well. Just one that I think will keep getting better and better. There's a couple out here that I like quite a lot. I'll go out and I'll show you the two, but let's put our hands together for a really good lineup of the feeder calves and a really good show throughout.
All right, that is going to conclude our market feeder calf class. Your overall reserve champion goes to Lathan Johnson, and your overall champion goes to Jalen Wolfen. So congratulations to you. On a job well done. That'll conclude that part of the show. We will have just a small break here while we wait to see if we have any club group of fives making to the ring. If we do, we will do that next. All right, if you have a pin of five, you can go get checked in at the show ring at this time. Pin of five, get checked in and begin making your way to the show ring. If you have a pin of five and you're headed this way, hurry. We're going to let the pin of fives in here momentarily. All right, pin of time, pin of five, time. We're going to let you into the arena now. Pin of five, come on in.
We've got our club band of 5 out here. These kids are working really hard to get everybody together. Obviously some differences. We've got heifers and steers and all of them, and maybe some different breeds represented. Our club there too, I think it was Meridian 100. Obviously, they've got a lot of the same breed represented there. I think a really uniform type of group. They were informative on their club. Then we've got antelope. I'm sorry, I forgot. You guys have done a great job as well. They've got some really good practical type of cattle. I think we'll sure enough do really well next year. And then we've got the tail twisters coming in better late than never. We've arrived. We've got them lined up now. They're doing good. We've got some quality calves in each one. Obviously, I think there's one that's just a little more consistent. The Meridian over here will be your champion of the club pen. And then tail twisters will be reserved. You're all going to get purples. Excellent job, guys. Congratulations. Thanks for coming out.
All right, that is going to conclude our feeder calf show for today. We appreciate everybody attending and participating, and we thank Bailey very much for coming and judging our shows here today. She will be around the rest of the week. We will see you guys at the next show.